Welcome, listeners, to the Functional Edge podcast. I'm your host, Emily Throckmorton. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about how to own your life. As a mom of one, wife, entrepreneur, business owner, and nonprofit founder, I know firsthand what responsibility looks like. My actions directly affect not only myself, but those around me. When we hold ourselves accountable, that's when true growth happens. My husband, who is a retired firefighter, would always tell me that it was never the private's fault when something bad happened. It was always the guy who was in charge. As leaders, our actions have a ripple effect, and it's important to hold ourselves to a very high standard so that we provide the best product not only for ourselves, but for those around us. My gym is about to start their final week of our January nutrition reset. We had 71 participants, one who was all the way from the Middle East. It's amazing to me how many people wanted to be part of our whole food reset, and there is no better time than January. Starting the year off strong and making great choices. Our mantra was fueling our bodies for performance. We didn't count calories or macros. Instead, we simply focused on eating real foods. We eliminated processed foods and added sugars, and everyone has been feeling great. They've either lost weight, noticed less bloating, have mental clarity, and so much more. When we started the reset, I sent out a PDF for what to expect. At the end of the paper, I wrote, "Take responsibility for your choices," meaning the outcome of the result or the reset is solely determined by you, no one else. Being a gym owner and coach, I regularly hear people blame others for why they don't have X, Y, and Z. And nothing fires me up more. When did blaming someone for your actions or why you're not where you want to be become a norm? Instead, we should be taking ownership. We should be taking responsibility, and we should hold ourselves accountable. Sometimes people play the victim role because it's easier than actually blaming ourselves. Taking control of your health and fitness requires a blend of mindset, strategy, and consistency. I wanted to give you guys 7 ways that you can do just that. The first one is setting clear, achievable goals. A specific goal allows you to track progress and maintain focus. So you want to break it down. You want to set small, incremental goals, which is actually the Kaizen way. And achieving smaller goals becomes the larger goal, and it becomes less overwhelming, and it actually keeps you motivated when you look at these smaller goals, and then they last longer. Number 2, create a routine. I've said this so many times, but consistency is key. Health and fitness is built on daily habits. So whether that's meal prep on Sunday or setting aside 30 minutes every morning for either exercise, mobility, flexibility, yoga, going for a walk, going into the cold plunge. These are all routines that will eventually turn into a habit that you'll keep for the rest of your life. Also included this is time management. So blocking out time for exercise and meal prep, just like you would for work or other important activities. I wake up at 3:30 a.m. in the morning so that I can make sure that I get either the hot tub or the sauna or the ice bath and breakfast all before my 10-month-old wakes up. If it's important to you, you will make time for it. Number 3, the mindset shift. We are going to look at focusing on control, not perfection. No one is perfect, myself included, and sometimes you miss a workout or you make a poor food choice. What matters is how you recover and get back on track. So if you had a bad meal for dinner, the next morning you just start fresh. You make better choices, you eat what you're supposed to, and then you're right back on track and you let it go. We call this long-term thinking. Make your decisions with the long term in mind instead of quick fixes. Aim for sustainable health habits that you can maintain. So instead of thinking, oh, I have to fast the next day, or I have to work out even harder the next day for my poor food choices the night before, you just get right back onto it the next day. Number 4, how to fuel your body. Plan your meals around nutrient-dense foods. It's so much easier to stick to healthy eating when you know exactly what you'll be eating for the week. And this also comes down to mindful eating. Pay attention to your hunger cues and avoid mindless snacking. Slow down and savor each bite. In our whole food reset for January, we focused on meat. We focused on maybe adding in avocados, sauerkraut, did a lot of sweet potatoes, raw cheese, raw milk, a lot of dairy. And it was amazing when everybody started to amp up their protein and amp up their fat. They were satiated for longer, meaning they didn't have these mindless snackings. Instead, they were eating these big meals and they felt like they had more energy, and ultimately they weren't snacking throughout the day as well. But if they did snack, it was, a beef jerky stick or fruit or something that had minimal processing to it. Number 5, exercise. The biggest thing here is find out what you enjoy. You're more likely to stick with exercise if you enjoy it. Fitness should be fun. And whether that's running, yoga, weight training, find an activity that feels good for you and mix it up. So for me, I enjoy running a great deal, but I also enjoy weightlifting. I enjoy a high intensity interval training class. I enjoy the camaraderie of being in a group class. So I mix these things up. So maybe sometimes I will lift in the morning, run in the afternoon, or vice versa. Or maybe I'll just take a class for the day, depending on how I'm feeling for the day. And then I make sure I have a rest day in there as well. But I start small and I progress gradually. So this would be for my folks that are new to fitness. Don't push yourself too hard in the beginning. Start with manageable sessions and gradually increase your intensity or duration. And I know this firsthand because we always get athletes that come in really excited, and let's say they haven't worked out in years. And now all of a sudden they are so excited to start working out that they push themselves too hard. And now their body is really sore. They're exhausted. They're hitting failure too quickly, and they're not thinking the long game. So that's what we want people to think about, is that long-term goal of being fit for the rest of your life and having longevity and having your health with you is so important, but we have to make sure that we're being smart about it. We don't want to just run ourselves to the ground every chance we get. And that takes me into number 6, sleep and recovery. You have to prioritize your rest, because without sleep, you are not having muscle recovery, you're not getting mental clarity, and you're not addressing your overall health. And last week, part of our challenge was aiming for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep each night. Hopefully, majority of our participants were able to even take a look at that and think, okay, yes, I am achieving that, or I'm really far off. If you're feeling really sore, make sure you're incorporating light mobility or walking or getting on the bike or something to help you recover without overexerting yourself. And number 7, track your progress and stay accountable. And the best way that we think you can stay accountable to yourself is to keep a food journal, whether that's in MyFitnessPal or whether you're tracking your miles in Strava, or if you have a wearable that keeps track of either your steps or your food intake or your exercise for the day. This is a great way for you to stay accountable to yourself. And, we recommend working out, 5-6 times a week, or having 1 to 2 rest days in there as well. A good way to think about it is, having 3 days on of working out, 1 day off, 2 days of working out, and then 1 day off. So that way you have this nice routine in place. You know which days are your rest days, and you know which days you're working out. But like I said, a great way to track this is to also do measurements, weigh-ins, and also just think about how you feel in certain workouts. So when you go to do a workout and you're like, wow, I can do a pull-up again, or I'm faster on the bike, or I'm faster running, or I'm able to squat more, that is a great way for you to see your progress in real time. So these are just 7 things I wanted to highlight for you guys. But ultimately, if you want to learn more about taking personal responsibility, this is for all my ladies listening, I'll be hosting my very first Holistic Health and Fitness Summit on April 4, 5, and 6 of this year. It's called Holistic Harmony, and it's for women only, but it's also led by women. I'll be starting the summit off with a topic very similar, and this conference is for women focused on leadership across various areas of their life, including their career, personal growth, and family dynamics. You'll be learning from women in leadership who have succeeded in business, nonprofits, athletics, and raising children. So if you're interested in this, please be sure to head over to Kaizen Athletics VB, Victor Bravo.com to register and save your spot, as there are only a few left. Thank you so much for listening to the Functional Edge podcast. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and we'll talk to you guys next time.